and I collected Superman comic books, which is kind of odd for a girl.
This
back
is
then,
like
you know?
the most disastrous interview I have ever been part of. Oh, cheers, gals.
Indeed.
How lucky can I be with two lovely ladies here on the couch, well, on a chair on the couch with me. I've dreamed about interviews like this.
I actually have something I'm curious about. You guys have probably both dealt with censors. I know that you've had trouble sometimes where there's a code and you can't do things you want to, and I mean...
Hello. When I first started hosting my horror movies, you know, on local television, well, then it was syndicated across the country right after
Wait,
that.
before you start, when you say your horror movies, for the one person in a billion who doesn't know, Cassandra Peterson is also Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark.
That's right.
Okay, now go ahead.
So I was first playing Elvira, and we of course sold the most shows to the Bible Belt, right? And someone down in somewhere I think Alabama or something put up a big billboard with Elvira laying there, and they got 12 people writing saying, "Get that down, that's disgusting, you know, showing that much cleavage."
I was one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure you were
And, yeah, right, you're right. And so they put a big censored banner across my chest, and then they got thousands of complaints
About the banner, of
banners. So that was my one little censorship thing that I had trouble with.
Oh, wow, but I can
So,
believe that.
you know.
Now, I just watched an episode of a show called Oddities, where she has a necklace made of human teeth.
Human teeth?
Human
Yeah.
teeth.
The roots and all. I mean, not, you know,
Yeah.
the whole.
Why?
And that's what this show does. They go around looking for, you know, oddities. That's why they're called oddities. And they found it for me, and I thought it was just perfect. See, some women wear diamonds. I wear teeth.
You should have brought it tonight. It would have given us something to talk about for the next 20 minutes.
Well, I was thinking about comic books, of course, being here with you. That's hello. And I was actually thinking that I have never mentioned, and this is, you know, it's.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, it's when I grew up. I don't know. I had a thing about Superman. The whole Clark Kent Superman thing. I was just fascinated with it from the time I was really young, and I collected Superman comic books, which is kind of odd for a girl
This
back
is
then.
like
you know?
the most disastrous interview I have ever been part of, but I want to show you what a great
Spider-Man
guy
again?
I am. Continue.
Who's Spider-Man again? Oh no, and yeah, actually I'm more like Spider-Man because
Oh, no,
You know,
don't try to get in on the winning team now. You've got a lot to make up for. It's not going to be that easy.
because I like spiders and stuff. It's a little more dark and
Yeah.
spooky. I don't wear red and blue. I wear black.
Well, that is sort of appropriate because I want to talk about sex in comics and how far you were ever comfortable going, or if anyone ever said less of that.
Well, I wasn't really one who injected much sex in comics. I was too busy having the good guys fighting the bad guys. However, getting back to Elvira, when you talk about sex, this girl has stories to tell.
About sex? Well, actually, I made my career out of it, you know. But you could have been Hugh Hefner. I mean, if you could have taken another
He's
twist
good,
there,
too.
you could have, gone that direction. But Playboy came to me after I was Elvira, maybe 3-4 years or something, and asked me to do a layout in there. And I said no. And they came back and they offered me more money, and I said,
Maybe.
and then they came back, and the offer kept coming up. And I really had to start considering it because it was a pretty darn good chunk of change. And I started thinking, I'm not shy, as you can probably tell from my costume or anything. It wasn't about that. It was more about my fans. I went to a convention, and I did a panel, and I asked the crowd, who were big fans, if they thought I should do a layout in Playboy. And believe it or not,
Yes,
they
yes,
said
yes.
no.
Oh, really?
They said no.
Those idiots.
They said they liked the mystery of the costume.
I loved Elvira because she was very powerful and comfortable with sexuality.
Thank
Even
you.
when I was a kid, like that, I was like, oh, that's awesome that you can do that.
Yeah, thank you. She still is.
Yeah.
No, you probably dated everybody.
I did date a lot of people.
Do you have? Are there any anecdotes about major stars that you can talk about that wouldn't get us all put in jail?
A couple of guys I did go out with that people loved were Jimi Hendrix and Elvis Presley.
You went out with Elvis Presley. Wow. Did he sing to you?
I was underage, so remember. Yes, he did sing to me. He actually, we sat at a piano together. He played and sang. I started singing along with him. No, he actually said, "You have a good voice, and you ought to start practicing. You ought to go out, get some vocal lessons, and get out of being
He
a
was
showgirl."
trying to get rid of you. You ought to go out.
Man. No, he changed my life is what really happened, because I was a showgirl and I kind of thought, oh, showgirl, this is the pinnacle of show business, you know, I'm famous. And he was like, you don't want to stay here in Vegas. You're now the youngest showgirl. If you keep staying here, you'll end up being the oldest
So he really
showgirl in
gave
Vegas.
you good advice.
He gave me that advice, and I finished out the year, my contract, and went out, got vocal lessons, and went to Italy and started singing with the band. But I think right now I would be the oldest showgirl in Las Vegas if it hadn't been for Elvis. So
And who else?
I'm writing an autobiography, and I have to
you
save stuff or
really?
I won't sell. I won't be able to sell it.
Oh, that's going to be some sexy book.
I've been writing it for since January, and I'm only up to the age of 17.
I suggest we talk about Cassandra's new project.
I do have this little project I'm working on, which I'm very excited about, because as you know, I love me some horror movies. So I am having this show called Elvira's Horror Hunt. It's for people who, independent filmmakers out there, who have their little film. I mean, they could make it on an iPhone or their little camera or whatever. People can send in their independent horror films, short or feature length, and as long as they made it without a studio's help, and they wrote it, they directed it, and did everything, they can send it in, and we will kind of critique it online. And then we'll pick 13. Then we'll have a panel of judges who knows, it may include you, a panel of notorious filmmakers and writers and all that. Pick out the top 3, and if they win, my pal Peaches Christ and I will host a big an event for them, a red carpet event with paparazzi, celebrities like Stan Lee could be there. And yeah, I mean, and it's a chance for an independent horror filmmaker to get their film seen, get a lot of press, and get a possible offer to actually get it distributed. So,
Wow.
I'm doing a service for the world.
No, you
but-
are. You're a benefactor.
All right, guys, well, we have to wrap up, so thank you so much to the legendary Stan Lee and Cassandra Peterson, aka Elvira. And come check us out next week.
The reason I learned how to read when I was a child was because of you.
So send me money.
Oh man, this is not going well.